The African continent is home to 54 African countries and their respective currencies. To determine the strongest African currencies, we will be comparing them to the United States dollar, which serves as the global reserve currency. Before we continue, welcome back to Be Amazed 254. If you are new around this paths, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to never miss an upload. This is the #1 channel on the internet where amazing people come to watch. Also, you can show us some love by giving this video a like. Coming at number 10, the Egyptian pound. Code, EGP. Current exchange rate, $1 equals 29.68 Egyptian pounds. The Egyptian pound is the official currency of Egypt, and it has been in the country for nearly 200 years. Egypt is a populous country located in Northeast Africa. Cairo, the biggest African city, makes up 2/3 of the country's population and GDP. Egypt has one of the oldest economies globally, and the banking sector in Egypt is one of the largest banks in Africa. Egypt has implemented a series of tough economic measures, including devaluing the pound, slashing energy subsidies, and introducing a value-added tax to help meet conditions of a $12 billion IMF loan. Despite this, the state introduced interest rates to attract domestic and foreign investments. This has seen its currency steady over time. Initially backed by precious metals, the Central Bank of Egypt started a managed float in 2001 before switching to a float in 2016. Before the float, $1 was equivalent to 8.8 Egyptian pounds but rose to about 15 Egyptian pounds per dollar after undocking. The EGP's use as an unofficial currency in Sudan and the Gaza Strip solidifies its status as one of Africa's strongest currencies. In reaction to the harmful COVID-19 lockdown measures of 2020, Egypt reduced interest rates to stabilize the currency. However, the nation continues to have one of the highest real interest rates in the world, which has aided in the sale of treasuries and the protection of the currency but discouraged borrowing. The Egyptian pound is also one of the most valuable currencies in Africa because Egypt has the second highest nominal gross domestic product on the continent, behind only Nigeria. Coming at number 9 is the Zambian kwacha. Code, ZMW. Current exchange rate, $1 equals 18.44 Zambian kwachas. Zambia is located in southern Africa, and the kwacha is its official currency. The kwacha has been with Zambia for more than 54 years since gaining independence from Great Britain and replacing the Zambian pound. One of the reasons it is one of the strongest currencies in Africa is that Zambia is the largest copper producer in Africa. This gives Zambia a considerable boost in foreign currency from selling the metals to other countries. Despite being one of the strongest currencies in Africa, the Zambian kwacha is not often traded by currency speculators due to its susceptibility to inflation and instability over time. Its currency is prone to erraticism based on the fluctuation of commodity prices in the global copper market. Number 8. The South African Rand. Code, ZAR. Current exchange rate, $1 equals 17.14 rands. The South African Rand is the 7th highest currency in Africa which, until the end of apartheid, had a relatively steady exchange rate with the US dollar. Since then, its value has decreased as the South African economy has grown more integrated with the global economy. Several nations in the area, including Lesotho, Namibia, and Swaziland, peg their currencies to the South African Rand, which can only strengthen its position as one of the strongest currencies in Africa. Currently, the Rand is one of the strongest currencies in Africa, and this is due to recent economic growth. South Africa's GDP can support this is growing at a rate of 4.6% annually. South Africa has one of the strongest economies, with its gross domestic product being $351.4 billion, as ranked by the World Bank. The economy depends on several sectors, such as mining, tourism, and financial services. In essence, the ZAR's value is related to the price of gold, South Africa's primary export in its early years. The rand, however, remains at the mercy of global uncertainty owing to South Africa's frail economy and unstable political scene. Moving on to number 7, the Eritrean Nakfa. Code ERN. It may be one of the lesser-known African currencies, but it's still one of the strongest in the continent. The Eritrean Nakfa is pegged at 15 nakfas to $1 and it is subdivided into 100 cents. The North African country has a fixed exchange rate that protects its currency from devaluation. The Nakfa has experienced stability throughout the years as a result of the Eritrean government's preference for a fixed exchange rate versus a floating currency. Eritrea is an agricultural country with many fertile lands for growing several agricultural products. It has made Eritrea have one of the highest currency values in Africa as the demand for food is always high, subsequently making its economy grow quickly. This has also been boosted when it recently amended ties with its former bitter rival, Ethiopia, opening up trade between the two countries. At number 6 is the Seychelles rupee. Code SCR. Current exchange rate, $1 equals 13.55 rupees. Seychelles is an Indian Ocean country with one of the highest currencies in Africa in terms of value. Seychelles rupee is also the strongest currency in East Africa as a result of Seychelles' market economy. Described as a haven of luxury tourism, Seychelles has a very strict monetary policy that has seen its currency strengthened. With its low population of over 100,000 people, this have also played part in boosting its GDP. Foreign investment as well as the bloom of agriculture, fisheries, and small-scale industrial industries have led to the growth of the country's economy. This has contributed to the diversification of Seychelles' gross domestic product. The fact that Seychelles has the largest GDP per capita in Africa has also contributed to the Seychelles rupee's ranking as one of the strongest currencies in Africa. The currency is mainly strong because of the country's strict monetary policy. The country is also an excellent destination for tourists, which gives it a lot of foreign exchange, which is another reason the currency is one of the strongest. The country primarily imports and exports goods, and thus, its economy is mainly driven by the import-export sector, making it a stable currency in Africa. Number 5. Botswana Pula. Code BWP. Current exchange rate, $1 equals 12.75 pulas. Botswana is located in southern Africa with a stable democracy and strong economy. The pula has been with Botswana for more than 45 years since its independence from Britain. Despite the 2005 depreciation of the legal tender, the Botswana pula remains one of the strongest currencies in Africa. The strength of the pula is a result of the country's exemplary economy and political structure. The currency of Botswana is pegged to the South African rand. It is also an appealing currency since it is traded on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, which is Africa's biggest stock exchange. Ghanaian cedi is currently the fourth strongest African currency. It has a current value of 12.01 Ghanaian cedi against the US dollar. The GHC is the official currency in Ghana and it is subdivided into pesewas. In 2007, the Central Bank of Ghana replaced the cedi, which has been growing in strength and value. Even though Ghana is one of those countries affected by the foreign exchange crisis in 2008, along with Tunisia, Morocco, and South Africa, its currency was not hit as hard as the others. According to a Bloomberg research, the GHS was the best performing currency in the world versus the dollar in 2020. The U.S. agency reported that the Ghanaian cedi increased by 3.9%, the greatest rise among the more than 140 legal tenders monitored, making it one of the strongest currencies in Africa. The cedi is the strongest currency in sub-Saharan Africa, an official currency for both the Republic of Ghana and the northern region of Togo. Touted as the beacon of democracy in Africa, the Ghanaian cedi enjoys a greater GDP per capita, which is the largest in West Africa. Government expenditure initiatives and employment development have helped maintain the currency's strength. Before we move on to the top 3 strongest currencies in Africa, please give this video a like and share it with your friends. I believe you have done that already. Now let's continue. Coming at number 3 is the Moroccan dirham. Code MAD. Current exchange rate, $1 equals 10.14 Moroccan dirham. The Moroccan dirham is an ancient African currency that has been around for more than 100 years. It is the official currency of Morocco and its neighboring countries in the Western Sahara region. The dirham is also a subdivision of the Moroccan peso. In the Western Sahara area, the Moroccan dirham is the de facto medium of exchange, and although it remains unregulated, its export is prohibited by law. Morocco has in many years pegged its currency at 60% to the euro and 40% to the USD. Being close to Europe gives Morocco an advantage in doing business with the European Union. The country is one of the fastest growing economies in Africa. This growth is reflected by its currency being among the highest on this list. It cannot be traded outside the nation and is virtually immune to bank-influenced price swings. Coming in second on our list of the strongest African currencies is the Libyan dinar. Code LYD. Current exchange rate, $1 equals 4.76 dinar. The Libyan dinar replaced the Libyan pound in 1971, when Muammar Gaddafi deposed King Idris in a coup, and was minted at the same value as the Libyan pound. The Central Bank of Libya is responsible for manufacturing, issuing, and controlling the currency, which consists of 1,000 dirhams per dinar. For a long time, the Libyan dinar has been the strongest currency in Africa because of the strict monetary policy set out by Libya's central bank. Libya is also rich in resources like oil, gold, and silver. Despite the ongoing conflict after the toppling of the longtime ruler Muammar Gaddafi, the North African country has maintained a low turnover of its currency to the US dollar. Although it remains one of the strongest currencies in Africa, the LYD has progressively depreciated against major currencies like the US dollar, the British pound, and the euro over the years. The continued slump in value may be traced to various sources, with the decline in oil prices on international markets being the most significant. Since oil sales are Libya's primary source of income, the waning global dependence on oil has had a detrimental effect on the dinar. Finally, at number 1 is the Tunisian dinar. With a dollar conversion rate of 3.07 dinars, the Tunisian dinar, TND, is currently the highest currency in Africa. Tunisia is an Arabic country located in northern Africa, and it is home to one of the unique currencies that attract foreign investors to the business. The Tunisian dinar is pegged to the euro as it uses this currency along with Algeria's dinar to form a common currency. This reason is its stability as it has strong support from other countries. Tunisia also enjoys very formidable import and export policies, with its conversions being static and cautioned through its stiff regulations. To enhance its status as the most valuable currency in Africa, the Tunisian government declared it illegal to import, export, or convert dinars into another currency. Tunisia's historically low inflation rate has contributed to the rise of the TND over the years to the top of the African currency rankings. From 2000 to 2010, it saw less volatility than Egypt and Morocco, two neighboring oil-based economies.